Love and obsession may seem similar at first glance, but they are profoundly different in essence. What begins as a fairy tale can, in rare cases, turn into something devastating. This is a story of how the fine line between passion and possessiveness can break, with tragic consequences. Throughout the story, Amanda seemed to have found the ideal partner, someone who met her expectations and brought joy into her life. But hidden beneath the surface of this seemingly perfect relationship were signs that went unnoticed, signs that the connection between them was poisoned by growing obsession. This narrative is not just about what happened but about the deep impact it left. A dark reminder of how a life full of promise can be destroyed by choices and behaviors that spiral out of control. Let us explore how Amanda's love turned into a nightmare that no one could foresee. Amanda was the epitome of determination and kindness. Young, intelligent, and with a bright future, she was loved by those around her. Working in a field she adored, her life seemed to be following a dream path. To her friends and family, she was an inspiration, someone who made everyone feel good in her presence. Daniel, on the other hand, was a charming and mysterious man. He had a natural charisma that drew people in, and his passionate attention toward Amanda made her believe he was the one. When they were together, they seemed like the perfect couple, radiating happiness and love in every moment. However, even the most promising relationships can hide secrets. Daniel's behavior, initially romantic and engaging, began to reveal a darker side. Small gestures that were once seen as caring began to take on a controlling nature, something Amanda did not notice right away. Amanda and Daniel's relationship started like a dream. He was attentive and made a point of showing how much he valued her. The chemistry between them was evident, and their romance quickly won the approval of friends and family. Together, they were seen as the definition of a happy and successful couple. But, as with any relationship that grows too quickly, the first cracks began to appear. Daniel often questioned Amanda's outings with friends, wanting to know every detail of where she was and with whom. While Amanda interpreted this as concern, her friends began to notice a pattern of subtle isolation. Over time, behaviors that seemed innocent evolved into something more problematic. Daniel started demanding explanations for every message on Amanda's phone and insisted on accompanying her to social events, even when he wasn't invited. These signs of possessiveness were ignored or rationalized by Amanda, who still saw in him the caring man from the beginning. As the months passed, Daniel's behavior became increasingly intrusive. He made comments about Amanda's clothing, suggesting she should dress more modestly to avoid drawing attention. Small arguments began to surface, almost always revolving around his need to control trivial aspects of her life. This control wasn't limited to words. Daniel would unexpectedly show up at Amanda's workplace, saying he wanted to surprise her. But instead of being a romantic gesture, her co-workers sensed something was wrong. He seemed more interested in monitoring her movements than supporting her. Amanda's isolation intensified. Friends reported that she rarely went out as she used to and seemed more distant. When someone asked about Daniel, she would respond with a forced smile and quickly change the subject. What was happening in her life began to seem like a secret too heavy to share. Amanda finally reached a point where she felt she could no longer continue. Daniel's behavior had become suffocating, and she decided to end the relationship. For her, it was an attempt to regain her freedom and security. For Daniel, however, it was a trigger that awakened his obsession. Amanda's decision was not well received. Daniel began sending incessant messages, alternating between pleas for reconciliation and veiled threats. He showed up at places Amanda frequented, seemingly by chance, but the pattern was clear: he wasn't willing to let her go. On the fatal night, Amanda was returning home from work when Daniel confronted her at the entrance to her building. He insisted on one last conversation. When she refused to continue, his frustration turned to violence. Amanda's screams were heard by neighbors, but the tragedy unfolded before anyone could intervene. Hours later, the police arrived at the scene after receiving an emergency call. What they found was devastating. Amanda's apartment was ransacked, with clear signs of a struggle. It was evident that she had fought for her life until the very last moment. Amanda's body was found, and Daniel had already fled. Messages on her phone and witness accounts pointed to Daniel as the prime suspect. He had planned the crime in a moment of desperation, unable to accept rejection. The search for him began immediately, involving police from several cities in a relentless manhunt. 2 days later, Daniel was found hiding in a cheap hotel, trying to evade justice. He was arrested without resistance, and the case quickly gained notoriety, serving as a chilling reminder of the dangers of possessive and abusive relationships. Daniel's trial revealed disturbing details about his personality and behavior. Experts testified about how his obsession led to a spiral of control and violence. The court heard emotional accounts from Amanda's friends and family, who described the irreparable pain of losing someone so special. Daniel tried to justify his actions, claiming he was emotionally unstable, but the evidence against him was overwhelming. Text messages, testimonies, and recordings showed a clear pattern of manipulation and possessiveness. The court found him guilty, and he was sentenced to a long prison term. For Amanda's family, the conviction brought some sense of justice but did not ease the pain of their loss. They committed to honoring her memory by creating awareness campaigns to help others recognize the signs of abusive relationships before it is too late. Amanda's tragedy is not an isolated case. In many relationships, warning signs are present but ignored or downplayed. Excessive jealousy, isolation, and control are not forms of love but of domination. Recognizing these signs can be the difference between safety and a devastating fate. This story serves as a powerful reminder that true love is based on mutual respect, not control or possessiveness. It is crucial for people in similar situations to know they are not alone and that help is available. Amanda's life was short, but her story can save others. Sharing this message is a way to honor her memory and prevent similar tragedies from happening again.